Hey folks, welcome. Here we discuss real stories by real people. Today we have the story of a man who figures out that his girlfriend cheated on him and is just using him to get out of her home country. Let's see how it goes. Story 1. I, 28 male, was sent to my company's Asian branch to lead some work projects for 6 months. While there, I met my girlfriend, 24. That wasn't part of the plan. I didn't expect to fall in love, but I did. She was working as an intern at the company and we started talking and hanging out. She told me about her home life and I told her about mine. She comes from a modest background, plenty of siblings, and overworked parents who still struggle to make ends meet. She had been working too, but that wasn't enough for her. She told me she would love to migrate to Europe, where I'm from, and get a shot at enjoying a better life and establishing herself in life. I told her I would help her with it. I liked that she was ambitious and wanted to get more out of life. I helped her get all the things she needed to present to get her visa and settle in Europe. After I left the Asian branch, I still made trips back there to see her and work on her immigration status. Eventually, everything was in place for her to make the move. By that time, we had been together for a year. One day, she asked me to fix something on her phone. I fixed it and ended up in her gallery. I saw that there were lots of pictures of a certain local guy. The pictures raised concern because he wasn't someone I knew to be her family or good friend. She quickly took her phone back and told me that she had a crush on a local celebrity. From the pictures I saw, there was nothing celebrity-like about the locals. The pictures were candid and of low quality. The fact that she rushed to pull her phone away made me suspicious. I didn't press the issue with her, but I decided to look into it. I found the guy while I was digging around her Facebook profile. I messaged the guy, but he blocked me before I could get a response. I figured from their defensive responses that something more was going on here. I got an acquaintance to do some digging without giving me up. My acquaintance came back with disappointing information. All the information I got confirmed what I had been suspecting all along. It turns out the guy and my girlfriend had been an item for about 4 months before I came back. Once she realized I was back, she dumped the guy and pretended there was nothing that had been going on. She was so desperate to get to Europe, and I was her ticket out. It didn't matter what heart she broke on her way out. The guy was some deadbeat, hardly getting on and doing odd jobs around the place. He knew she had a boyfriend too, but when did that ever stop anyone from doing what they want to do? I think he also knew what I looked like and who I was, so when I reached out to him, he got scared and just blocked me. He probably thought I would track him down and threaten him or beat him up or something along those lines, as if my girlfriend is worth that trouble. I asked my acquaintance to message the guy on Facebook and ask about the relationship. I figured he would get more information since he can easily communicate in their language. The guy was very forthcoming with the information. He told my acquaintance about how they got together and how long it lasted. He even sent photos of the both of them together, but said that they're no longer together. At that point, that extra detail of their breakup was immaterial. What mattered was that my girlfriend had been running around with another guy during the time I believed we were together. And she had the nerve to lie poorly about it. It started to become clear to me that she was just using me to secure a better life for herself outside her home country. Anyway, I went through the photos just to assuage my curiosity. From the pictures the guy sent over, there was no way anyone would think that they simply had a platonic relationship between them. I had already decided that I was over the relationship. The following day, I sent my girlfriend to the spa. I told her she should just go and pamper herself all day. She didn't notice that there was something wrong and was happy to go. Once she was out, I packed up everything that was mine, so I could leave the resort we were staying at before she was back. I left her bags in the resort lobby, settled the bill, and just took off. She started blowing up my phone while I was at the airport, sending texts and calls which I ignored. This was a few hours later, so I figured she had returned to the resort and was shocked by my absence and her things in the lobby. I finally sent her a picture of her and the guy. That would be enough explanation. I blocked her and left for my home country. Even though I knew it was the right decision, it took me a while to forget her. We had made plans of what our future would look like once we were in Europe together. Besides, I had invested a year in the relationship and spent money trying to get her to come over. All that stuff is not easy to get over. About 6 months later, I got a message from a different number. It was her. She apologized for her affair and begged me to take her back. She was desperate and wanted to leave her home country for Europe like she had originally planned. She went on to explain that she had been impregnated by some guy who wanted nothing to do with her, and this was not the deadbeat she had cheated on me with. With every explanation, I wondered why she had even reached out to me. There was nothing in her messages about how she loved me. She had just found herself in a tight spot and thought she could use me like she had tried to before. She finally asked me to help with her situation. I blocked that number as well. She clearly needs to get her act together, and I won't be the person she uses. OP, I'm certain your ex-girlfriend was just trying to take advantage of your kind heart. I'm glad you found out about everything when you did, because things would have been more complicated and painful for you if she had gone to Europe with you. I'm sorry this happened to you, and it's good that you're getting over it. Don't let her back into your life. If she calls you with an unknown number again, block it. Don't even give her the chance. Story 2. My 41 male wife, 34, has been having an emotional affair for months now. She talks openly about her feelings for him openly, and I'm losing my mind. We've been married for almost 5 years and have been together for over 10 years. About a year ago, a friend from her past contacted her on Facebook. From what she's told me prior to all of this, she wanted nothing to do with him. He was not someone she was into then, and she was unsure if she wanted to talk to him. Fast forward to June, she takes our oldest daughter out on a road trip to the state where this guy lives. One thing after another started throwing up red flags on my end, and I called her out on the whole trip. What she divulges is that she has feelings for him, that she is in love with him, and she wants to see how things work out between them. She tells me that it hasn't been physical, except that she kissed him. The next few days, I start to lose my shit with her, recalling how awful a human being I've been the whole 10 years of our relationship. I won't deny any of the words that she said about me. I haven't been the greatest partner this whole time. I realize this and take action. I started going to therapy and have gone every week for the past 3 months. It has worked. I'm not short-tempered with our younger children. They don't dread me coming home from work at the end of the week. They are more loving towards me, and I truly love them and enjoy spending time with them. A few weeks after I started therapy, I asked her if I could go on her camping trip with her and our children. She agreed, only on the condition that he comes along for the second half of the trip. I reluctantly agree to this. In the days leading up to the trip, I can't control my anxiety, and we do nothing but fight and say horrible shit to each other. My part of the trip didn't go smoothly. We laid there in the cabin on an air mattress, and I asked her, "Do you think there's hope between us?" She said, "I hope so, but it's hard to decide when you love two different people." I kept my shit together that night, but it stayed in my head for the next day. Another night, we tried to project a movie for the kids to watch. I was trying to figure it out on her tablet when she ripped it out of my hands. I started getting antsy and asked her what's going on. I asked her what's on there that you don't want to see. Apparently, this guy would send her videos just telling her how much he loves her. Before this post gets too long, I will say that she's now seen him 3 more times and wants to spend a weekend alone with him to see if she really wants to be with him. To see if he will annoy her or if this is the happiness she's looking for. I've tried showing her more affection and proof that I love her. We've had a few date nights and they've gone well, and we both admitted that we felt a connection being built again. But she also tells me that when she thinks things are getting back to normal between us, he calls and she gets more confused again. The only thing saving us right now is that he's out of state. She can't legally take the children there for relocation. Her other reason for still being with me is that she's the one that built this family and everything we have. I'm the provider while she is the caregiver. To end the post, I'll just say that I'm at my wit's end. I've been making progress and sabotaging the relationship every step of the way. I said to my therapist for a date that I would want her to make a decision on if she wants to be with him or to make our marriage work. So, Reddit community, what do I do here? I've read about being firm and just cutting her off at the knees, and I've read about accepting it all and just showing affection with patience. I'm at a loss. Update. So, I returned home at the end of the week and she seemed in good spirits. She started talking about her having a week in isolation from everything so she could clear her mind. That week has now turned into her being near him but far enough away. Then she chimes in that I do want to see him again. Another fight ensues. After the fight, she breaks down and tells me she confided and sees me, and I look good to her, and all she wants to do is hug me and... Her sentence trailed off because I believe guilt filled her head complimenting me. Things calmed down until I'm ready to go to bed. I asked her why she trailed off. She started yelling. I just went to sleep. I woke up in the morning to a message from her with a house listing. Beautiful home, well within our budget. I then look at where it is, and it's close to this guy. Another fight starts. This time, she just wouldn't stop and kept demeaning me and putting me down. I stood there with a smile on my face and told her to not come home tonight. Don't come home until Monday night because the kids need to go to school. OP, get a divorce attorney now. If you're not interested in an open relationship, your wife doesn't get to force you into it. Regardless of what happened in the past, you don't have to wait for her to figure out where your life and marriage is going. Nope. Live the life you want for you and your kids. Your wife seems invested in an easy answer to the problems you have as a couple. But an open marriage or whatever she's doing isn't it. This will complicate things like you wouldn't believe.